everybody, this is me again, your teacher Russell, and welcome back to my channel. In this video, we are going to talk about how to respond when we couldn't understand what someone is trying to say. So in Filipino way, we sometimes say, could you repeat that again, please? Could you repeat it again for me, please? Well, as you can see, that sounds redundant because we already said repeat and then we also said again for the second time. So please do not say, could you repeat it again for me, please? Because it's never ever correct. Okay, so here I'm going to be teaching you 10 different ways on how to say it. So we will start with the less formal ones and then we will be finishing the lesson with the formal ways of saying repeat that for me, please. It is very difficult for us non-native speakers to be able to have a conversation with the native speakers. The first reason is they speak very fast, right? And so for me, when I was still learning how to speak English, I am also having a difficult time. Even just watching a movie is giving me a headache. I can't understand whatever they're saying, so I have to rely on the subtitles all the time. But because I tried my very best to learn English every single day, I was able to progress, and now I can somehow say that I'm confident in speaking English. But for non-native speakers like us, it is somehow difficult to understand the native speakers when they're talking to us. So that we have the fear, like, what can I say? I'm so scared to talk to this guy or to this person. It's because, you know, he's a native speaker and I might not be able to understand him. As new learners of English, I'm going to be teaching you 10 ways on how to be able to say, I'm sorry, if you cannot fully understand what the other person is trying to say. Let us start with, I just said it, sorry. So make sure that you make that rising intonation at the end. By saying sorry, you will be able to ask that person to tell you again what he was saying because you did not clearly understand it. So let's practice that again. Sorry. Sorry. Now let's move on to the second word. Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. Okay, for us Filipinos particularly, when we say excuse me, it means like you want to pass, right? If like two persons are talking and then you want to pass and you want to say excuse me, may I pass? Well, that's a common thing. But if you do not understand what the other person is trying to say, you can also say excuse me by raising the tone at the end of the word. Excuse me? Okay, let's take a look at the next sentence. If the person is trying to tell you something and then you were listening to him intently but still you cannot understand what this person is trying to say, you can say, what did you say? What did you say? Okay, you have to be very careful with your tone, okay? Because if you sound like, what did you say? It would actually sound sarcastic. You're trying to pick a fight. It seems like someone said something wrong and you said, what did you say? So you have to say it very nicely. What did you say? What did you say? Okay, so you have to be very careful of your intonation. All right? Another thing that you can say is, what was that? What was that? What was that? What was that? Okay, so you're asking a question again, right? You're asking that person, please repeat what you've just said. I can't understand it. But you're trying to say it in a very polite way. You have to say, what was that? You're trying to say it in a very natural way that you're making sure the other person will not actually hate you for saying that. Again, your intonation plays a very important role when you're trying to ask someone to repeat what he or she have said, because, well, it's annoying, right? Like every time this person is gonna say something, you would always say, what did you say? What did you say? So, you know, the other person might hate you if you keep doing that. So please listen attentively. These are just options that you can say in order for that other person to, you know, repeat what he was trying to tell you in a situation where you couldn't understand what he said. Okay, let's move on to number 5. So here you want to be more respectful. And what do we actually use, or what expression do we use when we want to be more respectful to someone that we're talking about? As kids, when we were younger, we used to say this magic word a lot. And what is that word? We say, please, please. We say please, right? So if you want to ask your mother, your 엄마, I'm speaking 엄마 in Korean. You want to be more respectful to someone, especially if that person is older than you, or if that person is your boss, you might want to use this word all the time. Please. Please. Also, we want to use models. What are models? These models are words that we use to show honorific to someone that we're talking about. So aside from using please, we could also use could in this situation. So for example, we can say, could you say that again, please? You can also say, could you please say that again? It really depends on you whether you want to put please at the beginning or at the end. So you can say, could you say that again, please? Or could you please say that again? See, it actually makes you sound more respectful. And in business settings, this is the most appropriate word for you to use. Could and please. Okay, you have to insert these two words when you're asking the other person to repeat what he has just said while talking to you. Another expression that we can use is, say it one more time, please. Say it one more time, please. So in my Korean students, I usually say this a lot. Like sometimes if I'm having a hard time understanding their pronunciation because of the Korean sound, so I would say it one more time, please. Say it one more time, please. You know, yeah, so I told you saying that word please can actually make you more respectful in having a conversation with someone. Please do not forget that word, please. Okay, let's go to number 7. So in this situation, you actually understood what the other person is saying, but it's just that you did not completely understand what he was trying to tell you. So in this situation, we can say, sorry, I didn't quite get that. Sorry, I didn't quite get that. So that is, again, if you just couldn't fully understand what the other person is trying to say. Maybe 90% of it, you understood what he has said, but unfortunately you missed the 10%. So you want to say this word, sorry, I did not quite get that. Sorry, I did not quite get that. Sorry, I did not quite get that. Okay, so we're now going to number 8. We're almost there. Okay, for number 8, it is quite similar with number 7. The meaning is the same, but we're just going to change one word so we can stop repeating the same sentence or expression we're saying again and again. So here in number 8, instead of saying, sorry, I didn't quite get that, we can also say, sorry, I didn't quite catch that. Sorry, I didn't quite catch that. See, we just changed that word get to catch, but the meaning is the same. We just want to tell that person that, hey, I understood 90% of what you said, but please tell me the 10% because I can't fully get it. So the meaning of the expression number 7 and number 8 is just the same. Okay, so we're now going to number 9. And what is number 9? 9 is actually more formal. I can hear this expression from British people. I actually also watched a video of English with Lucy, and she's a really pretty British girl teaching English here on YouTube as well. I was trying to copy her how to speak to British English, but I think I sound like yeah, I think I sound like I'm forcing it. So, you know, my son loves to watch Peppa Pig. Oh, I'm sometimes watching with him with the Peppa Pig, and of course I'm a huge fan of Harry Potter. So I'm trying to copy that Professor McGonagall tone of voice, like, Harry, could you please come here in the office? But yeah, I think I really sound like I'm forcing it. So it doesn't sound natural to me, but hey, I'm still trying. I'm trying, and that's the best thing. Okay, so yes, what is this word? Number 9 is pardon. 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 Yeah, so this is, most commonly used in a British setting. And like I told you, this is commonly used by British people. So instead of saying sorry or excuse me for the Native Americans, they would rather say pardon. Pardon? Pardon? Be careful with that intonation. Like I said, it should always be a rising intonation. So let's practice again. Pardon? 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 Okay, good job. I think you can get it correctly. Yeah, finally, we're now in number 10. Well, it's related with number 9, which is pardon. What we can say is, I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon. Okay, actually, Lucy said you have to be very careful with that intonation, because if your intonation is like, I beg your pardon, I beg your pardon, it actually sounds like you're angry. And it's like you're angry about what he was trying to say. So instead of sounding like you want that person to repeat what he said, you would actually sound like you're angry of what that person said. So the correct intonation would be, I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon. And I think it's better if you put that little smile on your face. That smile can do a lot of things, right? It can brighten up someone's mood. And if you're wanting that person to say it again, then please have that smile. You can say like, I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon. Don't say, I beg your pardon. Do not say that with that scary face of yours. Say it with your smile. I beg your pardon. There you go. Okay, so those are the 10 ways or 10 expressions that you could use when you do not want to sound redundant. So again, please do not say in a Filipino way, can you repeat it again for me, please? No, you're doomed if you say that. So please, 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 please don't say it, okay? So yeah, we're now saying goodbye to each other again. If you're still new to my channel, if it's your first time to watch me, please help me out by clicking that subscribe button and the notification bell as well, so you can be notified every time I would upload my video. And please take note that I upload videos every Sunday, Philippine time. And yes, I'll see you again in my next class. Have a great day. Bye-bye.